things go right, then running can feel like just it's rolling off a log. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys have experienced it, your legs tell you what to do, and a lot of other times it's like you're pushing your sorry button down the road. Most of the time it's like that. Last year, this woman came and won the Boston Marathon. Then she went to Chicago and ran under 2:20 and won that. She was the ranked number 1 in the world by Track and Field News, best women's marathoner in the world. 6 weeks ago, she was like taking a picture off the wall at home, and the glass sort of slid out, fell, cut her foot, and she had to have stitches in her foot, and because of where the stitches were, she couldn't run for a week. 6 weeks out from Boston, where she's the defending champion, next thing you know, she's just pulled up, and you know, fitness is like hand pecking ice cream upside down in a sauna, and the minute you stop pecking the damn thing, it all plops out. You can just feel it just leave you by the second. Well, so we were worried that maybe all of that fitness was going to go to naught, because it turns out when it was time to turn the screw, she had plenty in the tank. Not only she had plenty in the tank, she ran a 109.28 with all the rest of the women first half. She ran a 109.28 point something second half. Dead even splits. She is now the 3-time Boston Marathon champion. And a lot of the times when you win multiple championships, they all come kind of pretty much in a row, very close. Her first championship was in 2006. Then she won last year. Now she won this year. 3-time champion and spectacular. The number 1 women's marathoner in the world and the 2014 Boston Marathon champion from Kenya, Rita Cheptu, in 2:18:57, a new course record. And on the men's side, we're going to have them come up on stage. In fact, we're going to part the way. We're going to bring them right up through the crowd here. Our men's can part the way and watch. Your champion's going to walk right up through. And they do that, I'll tell you about the guy who won the race. I'm sure you already know the guy that won the race. It's almost, you don't have to say anything, do you? 31 years between American victories. After all that happened last year, and we were so desperate to have something to cheer for, to get racing back on center stage. This guy, the 2004 Olympic silver medalist in Athens. This guy, the 2009 New York City Marathon champion. I don't know how many times U.S. cross-country, road race, and track champion. And he made his break around 8 miles and decided to keep going, and they never could get him. They could never run him down. And now he's the Boston Marathon champion, one of the all-time greats. It brings tears to your eyes to recognize Mev Keflezighi as the 2:14 Boston Marathon men's champion. Come on, everybody, give it up for him. Let's go. Here he comes. You know what it is about marathon runners? They run so fast and they walk so slow. Walk over and talk to Rita. Rita, congratulations. 2:18:57. The course record was 2:20:43, which had stood by Margaret Okayo, your countrywoman, since 2002. Mary Kate Shea, who was the matchmaker, who put the field together. Her number 1 goal this year, when she put the field together, was to break the women's course record. Well, thank you for Mary Kate Shea. It was an incredible. Shalane really, really had a very hard pace. What were you thinking when the race started so fast? Exactly.
Wow. Today it is fire because for me, I am surprised hope everybody was ready. That's why we ran today very fast, and everybody ran the way everybody needs to run. So I'm happy because the lady from US pushing the race, and I want to tell her I'm happy because I think she was the one she made me today to run fast and to break across record. So I'm happy, and I thank him, and I need to thank also my coach, because during my training I was doing well, and I thank God this year I don't have any injury. I want to tell him I'm happy, and I appreciate for everything she do for me last 4 months, and this year I was so happy because she was every time she was come and to tell me, Rita, this year I need to follow you until Boston to see you again to do something. So I'm happy because you are surprised me, and today I was the winner again that time in Boston Marathon. So I'm happy so much. Thank you.
It's really touching. And talk about Bev. It's kind of interesting because the 2011 year, the Ryan Hall, the great Ryan Hall, got it going, got it rolling, and the men that ran the 203 ran that big fast time, and the women were a little bit hesitant that year and didn't run as fast a time compared to the men. And this year it seemed to be just the opposite. The women went up very fast, 5:11, 5:13, the first couple of miles. I mean, just screaming. As I say, a 10K pace, like Rita was saying. But the men, it was different. And then at 8 miles, yourself and Josephat Boyd sort of opened up a lead. And then it started extending, and it started extending. What were you thinking? And how do you put this whole thing into words?
Well, first of all, thank you to the BAA and John Hancock and all the volunteers and the sponsors for making this race possible. If it wasn't for them, all of us would not be here. And let's remember those 4 people that passed away last year. Just as all of you guys are resilient, like myself and many others, we were now going to give it up for this day to come, and we wanted to do it. And personally, I've been thinking about this race for the last 370 days because, it was a week ago that it happened, and it was an amazing experience to be here last year. And from the bottom of my heart, I wanted to win this race just because that's what I've always been. And when the Red Sox put the trophy at the finish line, I wanted to do it for the runners. And said that, the race unfolded fine. I was very confident within myself. Ryan Hall and I started with them, and then about 8 miles into it, they let Joseph and myself had a little gap. I'm like, I just read the Bill Rogers book, Marathon Man. He describes it. I said, he said himself, they're making a big mistake, let him go. I said, well, they're making the same big mistake, let me go. And, I didn't finish the book because I wanted to write my own story. Time, and then also, building a lot up here, so I didn't finish it. But to go back to the race, it's just, Josephat and I, about 8 miles into it, and then I'm 13 miles into it. I had no idea what the halfway point was. But guess what? When you come to Boston, you come to compete. And it was going to be irrelevant at the time. It's all about the title. And then going about the fire station, as most of you have done that right turn, I said, if if I could have it my way, going up those hills on my own, I'd rather have that. And I looked back, and then they had an Army Gap, and then from there was just the crowd. You guys know how amazing they were. They got me through it.
You know, I forget who said this, but somebody said already today, in overhearing some conversations, that it's an individual sport, but today it was a team effort. It was the crowd and Mev were sort of a team. You inspired them, they inspired you, and together, you know, there was a competition, as we would say in Boston, it was wicked tough. And they were coming, and you were hurting. And so what were you telling yourself?
I was telling myself, I know you're giving me your best by cheering so loud, saying, USA, 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 USA. And I was saying, Boston strong, Mev strong, I'm going for it. I don't care if I get passed down a Boylston Street, but I'm going to give it every ounce I had. And it was scary. It was really, really, really tight at the end. I had it all in the tank. It was every ounce, but guess what? When you do it for the right reason, God is unbelievable, and it happens in God's time. I feel honored and privileged to have my dream come true on the most important day in the United States for runners. And I feel honored to be able to cross the finish line in front of all of you guys, help me be who I am, and pave the road for you guys all. And congratulations to all the finishers and your support.
Mev Kuklinski, 2014 Boston Marathon champion. Rita Cheptu, female champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the party's just begun. Have a great night. Congratulations to one and all. The 2014 Boston Marathon champions, right there with the most precious hardware in the sport.